I spent the past year chasing the impossible, trying to go pro without playing a single down of college football. And for a moment, it felt like I did it. But just like that, it was all taken away when I was recently cut from the team. For those of y'all that have been following my journey, you know everything that it took to get here. I graduated high school with 0 offers. Knowing what I was capable of, I spent 3 years trying to walk on at a school and didn't even get a tryout. And last year, I made the commitment to say I'm done playing college football. I prayed about it and took the risk of trying out for a professional arena football team. And during this process, I went all in, training harder than I ever have before. And when the tryout came, although it didn't technically go how I wanted it to be, the coach saw my potential and gave me a shot to be at this team during training camp. And for an entire week, I competed against grown men, dudes with college experience, previous pro experience, went to the NFL. And despite having no college experience, I was holding my own out there. I wasn't just blending in, I was looking good out there. You couldn't tell I was some rookie who didn't play college football and was new to the game. I looked like I belonged out there. But at the end of the week, it wasn't enough and I got cut. In this video, I'll be walking you through the 7 days of my pro football training camp. Break down what went right, what went wrong, why I got cut, and most importantly, what's next for my football journey. I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys, after getting cut, I had a lot on my mind. It shook my confidence a bit, not just as a football player, but as a man too. That's where today's sponsor, Teach Hanley, comes in. Their skincare system has been a legit game changer for me. I'm constantly going from the field to the gym to editing videos and just handling life in general. I needed something that was simple and effective, and Teach Hanley gave me everything I needed. From a face wash to exfoliating scrub to a moisturizer that actually works. With no complicated steps, just results. And back when I was younger, I used to ignore my skincare routine. I thought it didn't matter how I looked off the field as long as I played good on it. But when I started using this simple routine, I started noticing a difference. My face looked cleaner, I felt fresher, and I finally got me a girlfriend. And as Deion Sanders, aka Coach Prime, used to say, as an athlete, we sweat a lot, we're outside, and we're always just being active. You need something that keeps your skin clean without overcomplicating things. Y'all boys are a part of the 5 family. In this family, you can't walk around looking musty and dusty. Teach Hanley is made for dudes like us, who are active, on the go, and have no time to waste. If I had to pick my favorite part of the system, it's the exfoliating scrub. That stuff hits different after a hard, sweaty practice or workout. It keeps the dirt off your face, and when you combine it with the moisturizer after, your skin gonna be silky smooth. And Teach Hanley is hooking y'all boys up with an exclusive deal. Just click the link in the description or the pinned comment and get 40% off your first order. Did I forget to mention you also get a free gift with it? Your future self will thank you. And shout out to Teach Hanley for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back into what those 7 days of camp were like. And before we get into this video, I want to start off by saying do not spew any hate towards this organization. I truly love the staff and the people that work there. They had to make hard decisions for the best interest of the team. And it was not an easy decision for them to do this. In my eyes, this is fully on me. There were some things that I could have did better out there that would have gave me a spot on that roster. And at the end of the day, it's a business and they have to go with the best 25 guys on the roster. The coach took a big risk inviting me to training camp and I learned so much from that experience. And I'll explain more in the video, but my opportunity playing there isn't over. And we're gonna kick this off by talking about the first day of my training camp. Day 1 of training camp, I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys, I was locked in. It was my first time stepping onto the football field in almost 3 to 4 years. And for the past 3 years, I have been training non-stop. And in my eyes, I was finally ready to see the results of my training that day. I even pulled up to practice an hour and 30 minutes earlier to study my playbook, go through prayer, and just so many things to prepare myself mentally. And the first challenge during this practice was routes on air and doing high motion routes. Like, for those of y'all that aren't familiar with arena football, you actually run up to the line, which was kind of new to me, so I dropped like 2 to 3 passes during routes on air. And then we went over plays, and towards the end of practice, we got to go against the defense. And man, was this fast. I was processing everything mentally, trying to keep up with the speed of the game. And I'm not gonna lie, I was lagging behind a bit, but I did not feel like I was out of place. I wasn't doing bad, I just had to catch up to the tempo and move out of my routes faster. And despite being open on some routes that whole entire day going against the defense, I didn't get a single pass thrown to me. But I walked away from day 1 knowing exactly what I needed to improve on. Day 2, I feel like I was starting to catch up. And my goal for day 2 was to fix the mistakes I made in day 1 so they don't repeat the next day. But one thing I forgot to mention is before practice, I had something on my mind. We had a conditioning test at the end of practice that would make or break whether or not we make this team. So a little background to a few things that happened before training camp. I strained my hamstring 3 to 4 weeks before training camp, and I could not do nothing for 2 weeks straight. And a week before training camp was when I was finally at 100%. And when I checked my phone, my coach said this: on day 1 of practice, you will have a conditioning test. You will run a total of 900 yards and 6 legs. legs, which means you run 25 yards out and back 3 times. And you must finish 150 yards in 27 seconds if you're a wide receiver or a skill player. If you go over that time in any of the 6 legs, you will flunk the test and we will have a private conversation. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all boys, I was stressing. I was out for 2 weeks because of a hamstring strain and I had to get my body back to where it was previously. So I created a 9 to 10 day training plan up to training camp so I could be prepared for this conditioning test. And although I improved, my numbers were not where I needed to be to pass this test. And even with all that in my mind, I still pulled up the practice with my same routine, pulling up an hour and 30 minutes before, making sure I pray, learn my playbook before so I can come in here prepared. And when we went through routes or air, I probably dropped 1 or 2 passes once again. And when we went against the defense at the end of practice, I didn't get a single pass once again. And we also didn't do no one-on-ones, which was low-key kind of frustrating because that's where I could show my ability to win on my routes, but it is what it is. And when we did the conditioning test, not gonna lie, it was low-key a breeze. Because I was prepared for it mentally and physically, I was able to get through it. And it wasn't as bad as it looked on paper. And when practice was over, my mindset going into day 3 is something has to change. Now, what I forgot to mention is now that it's about to be day 3, dudes are about to start disappearing during training camp. Dudes are about to get kicked off the team. They have to work the roster down from 40 players down to 25 in 7 days. And my goal is to not be one of those guys that get kicked to the side. So I have to make a play on day 3. Once again, when day 3 came, I was locked in mentally. I pulled up the practice the same way I did before, an hour and 30 minutes before, making sure I pray, study my formations, and just do everything right. But this day did not go how I planned. Once again, I dropped 1 or 2 passes during warmups. But overall, I was moving at a good speed. But sadly, when we went against the defense, just like the first 2 days, your boy did not get a single pass thrown to him. Now, I'm gonna just say this. I'm not blaming nobody. And it's not like I was not getting open or that I was doing something wrong every single time. It's just no joke. Every time it was my time to get the ball, something would go wrong. And at this point, every single receiver has gotten the ball other than me. And I'm not gonna lie, not only was I frustrated, but my body was aching. I was 3 days into camp and I was sick to my stomach on my performance so far. And at this point, after practice was over, I just wanted to go home and go to sleep and just get mentally prepared for day 4. And when day 4 came, I was gonna come through differently. So I wasn't gonna show up to practice as early. I just showed up like 45 minutes before. Did my prayers, did my warm up, and just got out there and just balled out. And I heard from somebody pre-practice that they were saying if cuts happen today, that my coach said that I'll be gone and that he likes me as a receiver, but I dropped too many passes and I need to lock in. However, despite hearing that in my head, my mindset was the same. Go out there, ball out, and just have fun. And that's exactly what I did. On day 4, I was gonna be on the front of the line during routes on air. And when I went, I didn't drop a single pass. I was looking every single pass in, focusing on the ball and just having fun playing football. And when we went against the defense, things started to click. My routes were smoother. I was looking a lot faster out there and I felt like I was getting better. And then it happened. I ran a nice little out route and got my first pass going against the defense. There were other routes that I ran that were great, that were tagged specifically for me, and I got wide open on them, but the ball didn't come to me. But that's all good. The coach noticed my route running and he noticed the difference on day 4. And on this day, I was just happy I finally got my first pass. Catching that pass changed everything for me. And on day 5, I was gonna come in with that same mindset I had on the previous day. And I said day 5 was my reawakening. At this point, everything was starting to click. I showed up to practice 45 minutes before like I did yesterday. And the problem with what I was doing day 1 through 3 is that I was overanalyzing everything. I didn't need to study my playbook. I didn't need to overanalyze these things. I just need to go out there on the field and just do it. And the more I tried to do those things, the more I was in my head. So when I'm out there on that field, I just need to focus on me and have fun while I'm out there. And when I did that, everything started flowing differently. My routes were smoother. I was moving nice out there. And once again, we didn't drop any passes during routes on air. And with this new mindset that I had, these days were flying by like crazy. And I was so happy and just enjoying to compete out there. And you know what? I got another pass that day. I ran a nice little dig route coming across the middle and got me a nice one. And just like that, practice was over in a flash, bro. And at this point, I realized that I wasn't just trying to keep up with these guys and show that I belong there. I did belong there. And I was a baller at this point. To the point where even one of my teammates pulled me aside and said, bro, you should not be here. He told me that I should be going against these D1 and D2 guys. I could ball against them easily. And arena was only for a place for people who were trying to make it out from there. And I'm not gonna lie, hearing my teammates say that definitely hit differently. And there was no doubt in my head going into day 6 that I was gonna make this the best day possible. Day 6 arrived, and just like I did on day 4 and 5, I was coming in with the same blueprint I did before. No more questioning, no more overthinking, no more analyzing. I was just gonna go out there and ball out. And I didn't drop any passes during warm-ups on day 6 once again. Every pass that was thrown to me went straight to my hands. And all throughout this practice, I felt like I was in the zone. It didn't matter where the pass was thrown. I felt like if it touched my hands, it was caught. And on day 6, I got me 2 passes today. I don't remember what routes they were, but I remember that I got me 2 of them that day. At this point, it wasn't even about whether or not I get cut. It was about just going out there and balling out and having fun. I realized that's when I enjoy football the most. If I continue to grow every single day that I'm out here, nobody's gonna be able to stop me. And on day 7 was the day of the scrimmage. And from deep down in my soul, I had a feeling this was gonna be my best day throughout the entire week. And I was about to put on a show when I got out there. Day 7, the day of the scrimmage, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys, I woke up feeling good. Today wasn't just another practice. We were scrimmaging against another arena football team. This was my time. This was my moment, and nothing was gonna stop me. For the past 3 to 4 years, I have not been able to play college football. Everything that I've worked for, everything that I loved has led up to this moment. This scrimmage will make or break whether or not I make this team. I have to put on a performance this day so that they let me on that final roster. And through this determination and the power of my prayers, I saw my results when I was out there. And once again, during routes on air, your boy didn't drop a single pass. Everything that touched my hands was a catch. And because this was a scrimmage, your boy was in the 3rd group, so I was staying patient, waiting for my turn, waiting to get called to go out there. I was asking the coach questions. I was staying in tune, staying locked in during the whole scrimmage. And when my group was called, I was ready to go out there. My first drive out there, I ran a few plays, and then the next play came up and it was my time. I had this type of route, I think it's like kind of post out and up, something like that. And on the first pass that came to me, I was supposed to have a post, but I saw that the safety was bailing, so I sat in the zone and I got me a nice little catch and I scored a touchdown. And I was like, all right, bet, I'm ready to go, man. I'm locked in. I got my first touchdown in my first drive being here. I'm ready to go. And at this point, I was not questioning whether or not I belonged there, bro. That wasn't even the question anymore. I was just hungry and happy to be out there. The next one, I get me another post. I see the safety bailing once again. I sit it and I get me another pass. At this point, I didn't score though. I caught the pass, but your boy didn't make any moves after I caught it. Your boy's from South Florida, so you already know how he get, bro. I was still trying to bring that South Florida back out of me. If you could see it in my routes, but when I catch the ball, I still gotta work on that yak. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all boys, I made a mistake this day. I was supposed to fake a block and do something else, and it just didn't work out correctly. And I got yelled at. However, that next play, the coach trusted me, and he gave me another shot on a different play. And the route was a post curl. We were in red zone, and when I ran my route, the quarterback threw me the ball, and it was another touchdown, boy. On this day, I got me 3 to 4 catches and had a wonderful scrimmage, aside from that mistake and getting yelled at. And then it hit me. Despite making a mistake on that play, the coach gave me another shot, and you saw what I did with the result. And around 1 p.m., the scrimmage was over. So after it was over, I went to get me something to eat, and I got a text from the coach, the whole team. He sent out a text basically saying, meet him at the hotel at 3 p.m. And this was the moment. They were gonna call us into a room and tell us whether or not we got cut. And then he told everybody to bring their equipment that they had with them. I had my own equipment, so the only thing that I had to bring was a practice jersey. Everything that I went through, 3 to 4 years of just this whole process of grinding has led to this moment. Will he say that I made the team, or will he say that I got cut? And when just sitting in the hotel, I was just waiting, bro. I was waiting to I just want to know the result, whether or not I got cut, bro. And then I saw him text in the chat, Cam, come to the room. And that's when I knew, all right, time to go. And the time was finally here, the moment I waited for all week, bro. I wasn't really nervous walking to that room. I just wanted to know, was my performance at camp good enough to be on this roster? And when I walked in the room, there was like 5 coaches lined up, sitting on the table, the GM right here, and it was just everybody in the room. And when I walked into the room, I had my practice jersey in my hand. The coach said, Cam, you can place your practice jersey right there. When I heard that, oh my goodness, when I heard that, I knew I was cooked. At that point, I was just trying to hold back the tears hearing everything they said. And this was a tough conversation for the coach to have, because he's the one that brought me in. He's the one that believed in me. And he said that I played well. I did really good. But he made the decision to roll with this group of guys. They can only take so many players. And that was his decision for now. And he basically told me that he's gonna have to cut me. He said that if he could take 35 guys, that I will be a part of those 35 guys, but he can only take 25 guys, which rounds up to about like 6 receivers on the team. And he told me to stay close to my phone, that injuries happen across the NAL, and to just stay ready. There was like 2 players who went through the same experience last year, and they're on the final roster now. So I just had to stay ready. And he told me, don't let this shake you. Keep training, and your journey's not over. And I'm not gonna lie, at that moment it hit, bro. I knew this was a possibility, but it was like, dang, like I actually got cut, bro. I shook hands with the coaches, said my kumbayas, and then I walked to my car. I dapped all my teammates up in the hotel, letting them know that I got cut. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all boys, I was fighting the tears. I was fighting the tears. Like, oh, it was so tough to just walk out of that room, bro. For those of y'all that see Hard Knocks, you know how tough it is to get cut. Well, like, this was like my entire football career has like led to that moment, bro. And it was like walking to, when I finally got to the car, bro, like I was starting my car, and then I just felt a tear drop down, bro. phone, I just started breaking down, bro. And like for about like 20 to 30 seconds, I was just crying, bro. Like I was like, damn, bro, like I really got cut. But like after that, like I was good, bro. Like after I got my tears out, bro, after that, like I went to my room and I just I shut all the blinds off and I made the room completely dark and I just sat there watching an anime. And that's how I spent the rest of my Saturday night. And that next day is when I posted that I got cut on my story, and I appreciate y'all boys. A lot of y'all were supportive. And I'm not gonna lie, you would have thought somebody died, because the amount of people that were reaching out to me, like I was like, damn, like I really appreciate y'all, because like I wasn't hurting as bad as like people thought I was hurting. I was just grateful for the experience. You can't take, you can take me off the team, but you can't take away the experience or the things that I learned during that training camp. I took away from that training camp that I am that guy. I am a baller. Now to the reason that I got cut. What was the reason the coaching staff said I got cut for? So he started off with a few things. Like I said, I was dropping too many passes in the beginning of camp. Although I tightened up later in the week, I was one of 2 rookie receivers, and the other ones were vets with experience playing in this professional league. He also said that I needed to run faster on my high motion routes. Like I said, y'all boys, I wasn't used to running full speed up to the line and running routes. Although I got better at it during the week, I needed to do that from the beginning. Like I would have probably made the final roster if I was performing the same way I did Saturday, Friday, and Thursday and Wednesday. I would have made the team if I would have just did that Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Every single day counts during training camp. And I'm not gonna lie, y'all boys, during those high motion routes, your boys' legs were low-key kind of sore. So they were looking kind of slow sometimes. And like the reason I didn't make the team wasn't because of anything major. It was mostly like, hey, like this is the group of guys, like they're familiar. They had receivers that previously won championships in the NAL. They're trying to win a championship roster. They're trying to have a championship roster, bro. And I completely understand that. He wasn't saying that I wasn't talented or good enough. I was good enough to be on that team and play for that team. It's just a numbers games at the end of the day, bro. It doesn't have anything to do whether or not the coaching staff didn't like me. They loved me, and I was probably one of the toughest conversations they had to have. And they knew about my YouTube, they knew about my content and stuff like that. And he said that wasn't a part of it at all. Like if anything, they would have probably, like if I was on the team for my YouTube and stuff like that, they would have kept me on the roster. But it's not like that. They kept me on the team because of my football skill and ability. I grinded for this. This had nothing to do with my YouTube and stuff. And I'm grateful for the opportunity, because I would not have discovered what I was capable of if it wasn't for that training camp. I haven't been able to suit up and put on pads or anything since I graduated high school in 2022. So going through that whole experience, I learned like, wow, I've grown so much as a person, as an athlete, as a player since I graduated high school, and I deserve to be playing football somewhere. That's what that experience taught me. I wasn't hurt from it, I learned from it. And during that whole week, I learned so much about myself as a football player. I learned the mindset that I need to have, how I should prepare before I go out there on the field. And I'm gonna carry that into my next opportunity. Now for the bit you guys have been waiting for. What is next for my football journey? So y'all boys, I had to actually reshoot this part of the video because so much has changed in the past week since I filmed it. I wasn't expecting this, but I'm kind of on the practice squad now. I'm not on the main roster, which means I'm not traveling to games or dressing out, practicing, competing every single day that I'm out there. And I'm honestly loving it, y'all boys. For years, I just wanted a chance and opportunity to play football, and I have it. It's not glamorous, it's not nothing crazy, but it's real, and I'm taking it seriously. Every time that I'm at practice, every day is my game day. Every rep, every practice, every walkthrough, I treat it like it's my moment. I'm going to practices I don't need to be at, not to just learn, but to grow and soak it all in. This is a humbling part of my life right now, and I'm staying patient because I believe my opportunity is coming. Off the field, I'm working on getting re-enrolled back into school. For those of y'all that don't know, I actually unenrolled out of school last fall semester, but I have 2 years of college left and I want to finish my degree. If the team doesn't sign me by the end of the season, I could possibly play college football again. That's on the table too. But right now, I'm just keeping my heart open out to every path that God opens up. So what's next for my football journey? Simple. Keep showing up, keep putting in the work, and keep trusting God. And if I'm being real with y'all, I won't be posting about my football journey for a while. No game day vlogs, no mic'd up practices. Because this season, it's not for show, it's for growth. But when the moment comes and I'm truly out there on the field balling out, but right now, I have to be grinding in silence, y'all boys. That doesn't mean I'm dropping no videos. I still will be dropping high quality YouTube videos. I got a lot of content that I want to still put out. But as far as my football journey, that stays behind the scenes for now. This is the time where I prove myself what I'm made of. This is the opportunity I've been waiting for since I graduated high school 3 years ago. I'm good, life is good, God is good. I'm just trusting Him through this process. And when the time is right, the world will know what I'm capable of. Once again, last thing, do not go bashing the Carolina Cobras. I truly appreciate them for this experience and the opportunity that they gave me. And I only know from here I'm going to grow and get so much better. And y'all boys, we're gonna shake up the world, man. I appreciate y'all boys for watching this video, man. I appreciate the endless support. I appreciate the people who comment on every video. I appreciate the people reaching out. This is, I say it every single time, but this is only the beginning, bro. Aren't familiar with my story and you just watched this whole video, you can click this video right here to watch the entire playlist of my journey last year of trying to go pro, make the decision to go pro without playing any college football. But yeah, I love y'all, man. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Hey, man, and I'm gonna start dropping more consistently now that we're not playing for a bit. But hey, man, I'll see y'all boys in the next one.